I really like this song, man. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna pull up some scriptures before we get started. So,
is that the video? That's the song.
It's a song.
Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying ain't the crime, put the charge on me. Brother, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love and live the life on me. I speak the love and we fight it with the God on me. I speak the truth and let the Lord is on the matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family.
Who is that rapping right there? He hard. He hard. He got dummy verses. Now I can hear his verse. I love him, but that's my bro. He got bars. I need to do some individual songs with him. He hard. Grab Jeremiah chapter 9. We're gonna come back to this, but grab Jeremiah chapter 9, both of y'all. Woo! Man, he go hard. I love that bro. Oh, that's what he was talking about. Okay. I love those types. Those are my kind. Yo, let me pause the video real quick. I apologize. There was an elder who asked me to stop using this logo. And let me change this image real quick. I was using this in hopes to support the government of Israel, but I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to use it anymore. Let me go ahead and delete this real quick. All right, I'm going to use this one instead. All right, so let me change the logo. We'll get back to the track. Rich, no, I apologize, y'all.
You ain't got to push some son. Just show you found some love, just like the dude from above. You can just say like the love, but there's some things you gotta rehearse before you leave this earth. Like put the Father first, and thou shalt not thirst. You gotta be tried and refined. That's the most high design. You never know your time, and that's line up all like the thing.
I want you to write what I wrote.
Oh, nation I desire. Just ask the most higher, and thank the most higher. Oh, love your man, and bring upon him no harm. And with that being said, I love you all. Shalom.
Right this, right here, right here, and right here. So right this here. You do it.
Put the charge on me. Brother, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love and it's the lights on me. I speak the love and we fight it with the God on me. I speak the truth and let the Lord is on the matrimony. I testify my love for you and it's my testimony. Love your family. Love your family. Love your family.
Well, y'all got bars. Ain't nobody get around it. Huh? Koyaya got bars. Koyaya thinks he goes in great. He got words and patterns. Great job. Do right here. Do this. Do like Abba did. Draw what Abba do right there. No, right here. On that one.
Straight up dismantle. Take a chance and battle with your sister, bet the gamble. Oh, you know we battling with the scriptures, cut like Rambo. Walk on water just to make it clear you left the paddle. It's a love revelation, ain't no reservation. Fight the temptation. Take your time,
let me get these scriptures real quick.
See, walking occupation, walking for your nation. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying and crying, put the time on me. Baby, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids
Listen
on
to
me.
Amma.
I show my
He
love
can
is
draw those.
life on
He
me.
did
I
those.
speak the love if we
And then
fight
you
or
said
if
you
we
can
lie
draw
on me. I speak the truth and make the loudest on the matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family.
I never peeped that. He said, I can't help but to show you some love. I can't do nothing but show you some love. That's so fly.
I still love you if we fight or if you lied on me. I speak the truth and that's the loudest or in matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love
That's
your
so
family,
hard. I can't do
love
nothing but show you some
love
love.
your family.
I never heard that before.
Let me do this.
With Christ, the proof of your marriage. I'm gonna have to watch this video. I'm gonna have to watch that. With Christ, the proof of your marriage. Oh man, I love him, brother, man. I love him, brother. That's fire. So I'm gonna take this link and I'm gonna share it, cut, and I'm gonna check it out. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the regular script. But you can though. You gotta do it right here where Abba wrote it at, and you gotta practice. Look. Let me show you. I'm gonna use your hand. Look, hold the pencil. See, Abba's look like that. Do like this. See, it looks just like Abba's. No, wait. No. Look. And look just like Abba's. You did good. Keep practicing. All right. Yabra Kamia Bashim Shai Shalom Kamia Shrali Howard Shamar Lathan. The camera is off for a specific reason, and that reason is because I would rather go through scriptures and show my family, my people love, opposed to show what's behind the scene in my face right now. So we're going to start with a few things real quick, and we're going to start with Jeremiah chapter 9. It's the Shabbat, so we're going to say Shabbat Shalom. I do not believe, teach, or support the lunar moon Sabbath. The lunar what about you? On the moon? Right. That's great. See, so we don't teach the lunar moon Shabbat, but we do teach the 7th day of the week Shabbat. And this is the time frame we see from the first temple to the second temple, to where we have seen that Yahweh gave us a time frame of praise and worship to Him. So watch this, Yashua. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna give honor, praise, and glory. You did great. That's getting close. You're getting better. All right. So we're going to start with Jeremiah chapter 9. All right. Who want to read Jeremiah chapter 9? We got two sisters in the building that can read right now. We have Natazar Kataria and we have Quadash Yalad. All right. And both of these Benathian, these daughters of Israel, are learning to be seasoned in the principles, customs of the children of Israel. All right. So, and then you might know these sisters. Pretty sure y'all do from the Women of Wisdom. Y'all know them from the Women of Wisdom. So we're gonna start with reading the book of Jeremiah chapter 9 real quick. So who want to take Jeremiah chapter 9? Jeremiah chapter 9. Every woman that's in the world should know the book of Jeremiah chapter 9 because it empowers you. It shows you where Yahweh is talking to you. All right. So Jeremiah chapter 9. Anybody want to start from the gate? Yeah, let's bring from the gate. All praise. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 1. All right, bring it out.
Jeremiah 9:1, it reads, "Oh, that my head were waters."
So this is the Alahaya. This is the power talking. He says, "Oh, that my head were waters." What else?
And my eyes a fountain of tears.
And that my eyes were a fountain of tears. Read.
That I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people.
Of the what?
Of the daughter of my people.
That I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Now, our mother's name is Jerusalem. 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 Yay. All right. So the Most High says that he would, Yahushai, this ain't even the Most High. Yahushai, our Alahaya now, our Adawan. And if anybody ever asks me, what would be something that you would want me to hear from you on my last days? My words to you would be, go to Christ our King. Go to the Master. See, I think it's carnal if I tell somebody to love me more than I tell them to love Christ. It's a very carnal thing if I tell somebody to love me more than I tell them to love the Master. So, oh, that my head were what?
Oh, that
my head were waters.
And my eyes a fountain of tears.
That I might what?
That I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people.
So Yahushai Hamashiach, the Messiah, the Master, he says that he weeps for the daughters of Israel. He don't say that he weeps for the Arabs. He don't say he weeps for the East Indians. He don't say he weeps for the Africans. He don't say that he weeps for the Edomites. He don't say that he weeps for any other nation. He says that he would weep for the slain of the daughter of his people, which is those so-called Negroes, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, North American Indians, Hispanics, that's slaughtered in every city that we see. See, this has been happening for a long time. He says he weep for us. Verse 2. He says what? Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. So he says, only if I had somebody I can trust to leave my people to help my people, to leave them with, right? Verse 3. And they bend their tongue like a bow for lies. Why? Because the children of Israel will lie against you like it ain't no joke. And this is something that we did against Moses. We did this against our forefathers. Our foremothers and our forefathers learned how to bend our tongues and say things that just weren't true based off of however we were feeling at the moment. We see examples like what? I can't stunt King David. King David lied, and a lot of people don't talk about that. But in the book of 1 Samuel, King David lied. He said that the King Saul sent me on a special mission. King Saul didn't send King David on a special mission. King David, he wasn't king at the time, but David dipped off by himself because, hold on one second, hit the side up. Yeah, hit them together. David just tap. You got to tap him. And then I'll put an adhesive in there to make them stick later. David, he dipped off by himself. See? And why did he dip off by himself? Because he was afraid that his father-in-law was going to murder him. So what he did was he dipped off by himself. But when he got to the priest, and he got to the priest on the Sabbath day, he told the priest, he said, no, the king sent me on a special mission. That's why I'm here. That's why I don't have the royal guards with me. I got these couple of brothers, and these brothers haven't had sex with no women, and we can eat the clean holy bread. Now, I want everybody to know this. I'm not a teacher of the I am not a teacher of new moon constitutes. We count 7 days and then that's what Shabbat is. No, sir, not me. I'm a teacher of a 7-day-a-week Shabbat, which has been instituted since the book of Genesis, chapter 1, by the Ashiach. But the point is to say that Yasha'Allah learns how to bend our tongues like bows. I've seen some elders bend their tongues. I've seen women bend their tongues. I used to bend my tongue, but now my tongue shoots straight. If I say something, it's an accident. Oh, my bad. Oh, that wasn't my bumper. I ran over. That was somebody else's bumper. And I find out, I was like, oh, that was my bumper. Oops. But I don't lie anymore. And it feels so good. It feels good to be free to not be a liar. Yahweh hates liars. You know what usually it takes? It usually takes a liar to get their heart broken before they stop being a liar. And that's what happened to me. Yahweh broke me into shreds, to crumbles. All right? So watch this. And they bend their tongues like their bows for lies. But they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. So remember, he's talking about the children of Israel. He's not talking about Gentiles. He's talking about us. For they proceed from evil to evil. The children of Jacob. We go from doing wrong to doing more wrong. And they know not me, saith Yahweh. Take heed ye, every one his neighbor, and trust ye not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders. Cold game. So y'all got to know this. Let me tell you this right now. I'm talking to you. When I came into the truth, when Yahweh woke me up, I thought I was going straight to heaven. I did. Yeah. I thought I was done. No. I know. And listen, we're not in the Shabbat time frame, nor are we in a holy convocation to where we're in a synagogue. So you have liberty to speak. It's like more like a radio show time frame. So with that being said, I thought I was like, yo, all my problems are done and all you niggas is wicked. That's really what I thought. Because I realized that the Father showed me something he didn't show other people, and I had came out of it. But I know that when he brought me out of it, I still had to live in the world of it. I didn't realize that until years later. So watch this. And they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. You ever meet a person that just, for whatever reason is within them, don't know how to admit they wrong, don't know how to tell the truth, don't know how to be like, oh, you know what? My bad. I was wrong about that shit. That was my bumper. Hey, y'all, I ran over my bumper the other day. I don't know how I did it, but I ran over the whole bumper of my car. And then I called my big brother, the one who built the car. And he was like, oh, yeah, I had problems with that too. I was like, oh, so it's not just me. Now, that's not the point of the finger, put the blame on my big brother. Not at all. But that is to say that sometimes there are other things that comes into place, and we have to learn how to hold our own pose. We have to learn how to have our own fortitude. All right? And we have to be careful with how we speak. This is a fault that Yahweh found against us. He called us liars. And I remember I used to lie like a mug. I used to lie like a rug. One time, one of my school teachers, she said to me, she said, you lie like a dog. And I didn't understand what she said. I was like, what does that mean? But at the time, I was like in the 3rd grade. You know. Yeah, Con. In the 3rd grade, I used to tell lies. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just like, you know. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. I ain't gonna make a mistake. I'm the only one who used to lie in the third. How does a child in the third grade? Just hypothetically, I ain't been in school in a long time. How does a child in the third grade?
8, 9.
When I was 9 years old, I ain't gonna say 8. When I was 9 years old, yeah, I used to lie. But when I became a man, I put away with childish things. Yeah, we might make mistakes, but at the same time, once you realize, like, yo, I was off, you need to admit that you was off. So Yahweh pulled our card on this. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 5, he says, they will receive everyone, and they will deceive, not receive, deceive, and they will deceive everyone his neighbor and will not speak the truth. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. That's a real statement. And weary themselves to commit iniquity. What does Yahweh say? Verse 9. Listen, children of Israel. Every woman should know Jeremiah chapter 9. If you're a woman and you don't know Jeremiah chapter 9, you failing. If you're a woman and you don't know Jeremiah chapter 9, you whack. You whack. Because in Jeremiah chapter 9, Yahweh is talking to you women. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 6. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. You live in deception. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, saith Yahweh. Stop being a Hebrew excuse-alite. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will melt them. What does that statement mean? Anybody got what does that statement mean? Anybody? I'm gonna chill out on the screen share. I'm gonna put a screen share because I'm gonna pull a scripture. What does that mean? In their deceit, I will melt them. What does that mean? Anybody online? In their deceit, I will melt them. Nobody? Maybe you're not being taught correctly. Maybe you're not being shown correctly. Here you go. I'm gonna tell y'all one of my faults. One of my problems is I sometimes think just because people around me is that they know what I know, and then I find out later, damn, they really don't know what I know. They don't know how it showed me just because they're around me. And then I have to take like massive steps backwards just to get people caught up with how it showed me. But that's the wonderful burden of the word of the Lord. So let's say Joel chapter 2. All right, let's see what Joel chapter 2 verse. Joel chapter 2 says. I don't even got my Bible. Yo, all praise the Most High. This is freestyle off the brain. Let me see. Let's say Joel chapter 2, KJV, BLB. Let me see what Joel chapter 2 says. All right, Joel chapter 2. All right. And then whoever gets Joel chapter 2, and the third day, not John, Joel. All right, let's see. Joel chapter 3. All right. So Joel chapter 2 is blow the trumpet. I'm gonna look for Joel chapter 3 real quick. Captivity, 2 cities. All right. So, all right. Yo, hold on. We studying right now. We studying right now. Maya Fatu. We studying right now. Okay. So you gotta get the light out the eyes, and you have to go play, Con. All right, Shalom. She looked with the most sincere eyes, like, but I'm telling you something. All right. So Joel chapter 2, whoever gets it first, start at verse 10. Joel chapter 2, let's start at verse 10. Whoever gets it first.
All right, Joel 2 and 10. The earth shall quake. The earth shall quake before them. The heaven shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Verse 11, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executed his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Verse 12, therefore also now, saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with
Stop. Yahweh says, do what?
Turn ye even to me.
The Most High says, turn you to me with what?
With all your heart.
With all of your heart. Go ahead.
And with fasting.
With what?
Fasting.
With fasting. Read.
And with weeping.
With weeping.
And with mourning.
Look, I don't rebuke nobody that wants to follow these instructions. If you want to weep, if you want to fast, if you want to mourn, when the concept came about, when brothers was talking about, yo, we supposed to be eating vegetables and fasting, I was commending them, but I rebuked them whenever they was talking about we were supposed to be eating vegetables only for our whole lives, because Yahweh gave us a flesh law. I ain't gonna say meat, I'm gonna say a flesh law, because meat could also be bread. Okay. Now, what happened was the Most High told us, he gave us biblical prophecy on what was going to happen when what? Oh, that's my brother Koyaya, man. That's beautiful, man. Salute to Israelite saints all about Christ. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna bring that video up later. I gotta bring the video. Hey, okay, all praise. All right. So the Most High gave us parameters on what he told us to do and how he told us to do it. When we're looking at the book of Jeremiah chapter 9, what verse do we leave off at? Jeremiah chapter 9, we left off, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, I will melt them, verse 7. All right. So he tells us to humble ourselves down with prayer and fast. Now go to the book of Malachi chapter 3. All right. Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. And it reads, I want everybody to see this. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he will prepare the way before me. And Yahweh, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come. Now, the funny part about this verse is it doesn't say Yahweh. It says Alahaya. This word says Adanya. This verse says my Lord. This verse right here says Yahweh Shai. Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. It says, and Alahaya, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant. That's Masha, whom ye delight in. I'm in Malachi chapter 3, verse 1. Behold, he shall come, saith Yahweh of hosts. Verse 2. Look at this. But who may abide in the day of his coming? Who's going to survive when Yahweh Shai appears? And who shall stand when he appeareth? Nobody. Why? Because every knee shall what? Oh, don't nobody know the scriptures now. I heard you, but don't nobody know the scriptures now, right? So every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess when Yahweh Shai comes. See, we didn't know what this verse was about. This verse is really about when Yahweh Shai appears, because when the Father appears, everything is Thanos knuckles. When Thanos snapped his fingers and everything was dust, everything was dead, all right, in the so-called movie Avengers, can nothing survive in the presence of Yahweh? That's why Masha seen not the backside of Yahweh, he seen the backside of his glory. The trail end. Who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. Verse 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. He shall purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh and offer unto righteousness. So when he tells us in the book of Jeremiah chapter 9, he will melt us. It's verse 2 and verse 3 in Malachi chapter 3. Who will abide in the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire. What's a refiner's fire? That's the point. A refiner's fire. Google image what a refiner's fire is. It's something that completely melts down whatever it comes in contact with. A refiner's fire is something that you put inside of a pit, and the pit is full of lava, and it melts any. Or look at the images of what a refiner's fire is, and that's what a lot of you Negroes and a lot of you Hispanics, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, North American. That's what a lot of you men and a lot of you women got to learn. Y'all got to go through the refiner's fire, but you so weak that you don't like the oppression. Guess what? Some of us already been through the oppression, and some of us are currently going through it. And man, you a punk. You a punk if you can't handle your woman's emotions because she going through something and you don't know how to stay. You a punk if you divorce your woman because you don't like her attitude. Women, you a whore if you leave your husband because you don't like the fact that he corrects you. You an adulterer if you can't handle the fact that you got to go through the refiner's fire. You got to go through it. Because guess what? Yahweh Shai HaMashiach died for our sins. He went through it. He went through the fire. Men, Barakatah, men, you are a punk if you can't handle a little girl's temper tantrum. Women, you a hoe. You a whore and you are an adulterer and you destined for the lake of fire if you can't handle the fact that your husband is going to encourage and rebuke you. So don't be no punk and don't be no whore in Israel. Stand fast, stand firm, stay strong. Yahweh Shai went through the fire first. He went through the fire first. It takes discipline. So now let's go back to Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who may abide in the day of his coming? Who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire. So now do y'all see it? I went through the images. We went through the images of what a refiner's fire looked like. This is a great one. This is a real good picture. A refiner's fire. All right. Yahweh Shai is like this is the refiner and this is the fire. Man, I remember I didn't know none of this stuff. I was a straight up gangster, hoodlum, thug, tribe slap-a-hoe nigga. That was the tribe I came from. By Shema Mashiach Yahweh Shai, my father, my grandfather, my mother, their mothers. And now Yahweh's taught me so much patience. It's just ridiculous. Like, I love it. So we have to learn this, men, women, and children of Israel. So we're at Malachi chapter 3, because if you women don't know Malachi chapter 3 to teach it to your women and to your children, then it's time to learn it. Okay, teach it to other women and children. He says what? He says, who may abide? And then after this, we're going to go back to Jeremiah chapter 9, and then we're going to go to the Torah portion. So he says what? But who may abide in the day of his coming? I know this is grievous for some people to hear it. And it's so pathetic because it's like, yo, I love the Lord except for when I'm frustrated. I love the Lord except for when I don't want to hear what's being said. I love the Lord except for when it's talking about me. And this is coming from a nigga who had to hear it. I had to hear it. And guess what? I couldn't run from it. And at the end of it, I thanked my elders. I thanked the Most High for taking me through my trials. I refuse to die an old fool. I refuse to die old and foolish like when I was 17, 16, 15, still throwing punk ass temper tantrums. I had to quit. I had to grow up. And I'm still learning how to grow up. Listen, I'm not a grown man. I'm a man that's still growing. I'm not a grown man. I'm a man that's still growing. And y'all are not grown women. Y'all are women that are still growing. You're not a grown woman. You a little girl still learning how to be like Sarah. Man, you're not a man. You a young man still learning how to be like Abraham. But who may abide? This is Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who may abide in the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? Nobody will stand. Every knee will bow, and every tongue shall confess when Yahweh Shai comes, because we're going to be too afraid to stand up. We're going to lose strength. The scripture says the mighty men of Teman. You know what that means? That means the special force niggas that be running all fast. The grunts that be, nigga, I'm going to climb up this big ass rope. I'm going to jump over this thing. Fire gun M16. I have no idea. What? The grunts? What do you call them? I don't know. Marines, special forces. They're going to cry like babies when Yahweh Shai arrives. they're going to lose their heart. They're going to have their bowels going to be released. And I had one brother that's in the military. He said to me, he was like, listen, if Yahushua come while I'm still in this suit, he said, this suit going to be standing there and I'm going to run off. Yeah. And he was like, this suit going to be standing and I'm going to run off because I'm joining Yahushua's side. And that was while he was contracted for the government. So those who got that heart, they listen. We gotta be you. If you ain't broke, a horse gotta be broken. A horse gotta be broken. Sirach chapter 3, Ecclesiasticus chapter 30, KJV. Nah, not 13. Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. Who do people think they are? Ecclesiasticus chapter 30. And it reads, it says, he that loveth his son causeth him oft to feel the rod, that he may have joy of him in the end. He that chastiseth his son shall have joy of him, and shall rejoice of him amongst his acquaintance. He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends he shall rejoice of him. Verse 4. Though his father die, yet he is as though he were not dead, for he hath left one behind him that is like himself. While he lived, he saw and rejoiced in him. And when he died, he was not sorrowful. This is the verse for all the sons and for all the daughters when your parents die before you. When you see your righteous father or your mother die, you were alive, you rejoice in your father and your mother. And when they die, you're not sorrowful when they die because you know what you know what their reward is. Watch this. He hath left behind him an avenger against his enemies, and one that shall requite kindness to his friends. He that maketh too much of his son shall bind up his wounds. Oh, come here, baby. No, I ain't babying nobody. Everybody get the business because we all got to grow up. I had my kneecap splat. I had my kneecap on one of my knees slit to the white meat to where I had 3-part reconstruction surgery on my kneecap. And there was no nerve damage. So I don't be caring sometimes when people talk to me about their little punk pains they went through. All of us that went through something. There's some women who went through traumas that's so deep that men can't conceive what they went through. I had my kneecap reconstructed to where it was past numbing my nerve. All they can do is pour cold water on me and give me a placebo. And they stitched together my kneecap in 3 places because it was bad. I was beaten to death. That's why I won't let nobody play me like a punk, because I was beat to death. And my kneecap was busted open in 3 different areas on a separate occasion. And my mother was strong. I didn't know what the pain she was going through on the inside. But when I was looking at my mother, she was strong. She had her head tilted high. She was like, sit still. And I was like, huh? While they poured cold water on my kneecap and stitched it up with sheepskin stitches. You know what an inside of a kneecap look like? It's pure white. He that maketh too much of his son bind up his wounds. My mother didn't bind up my wounds. She made me go through it. And his bowels shall be troubled at every cry. So if you make too much of your daughter or your son, you're going to be a punk. Look at this. A horse not broken becometh headstrong. If you get you can't tell me you want a horse, but you ain't willing to break the horse. You can't tell me you want a rib, but you ain't willing to correct the rib. You can't tell me that you want children, but you ain't willing to correct your children. You can't have a dog without willing to correct your dog. A horse not broken becometh what? Becometh headstrong, because it wasn't corrected. Watch this. And a child left to himself will be willful. So we have to understand the principle of correction. You can't be willful, young man. You can't be willful young daughter. Sometimes we have to be broken so Yahweh can heal us. I asked the Most High to teach me how to love, and he told me behind the ear, he told me behind my right ear, what nobody else in the building with me. What nobody in the building with me. The Most High told me before I learned how to love, I was going to be hurt first. And I've been going through years of being hurt, and it gets easier and easier. I ain't no punk. So therefore, I've gotten stronger and stronger. And I praise Yahweh. Some stuff just don't bother me like it used to where I used to come from the tribe of slap a hoe. Now I come from the tribe of listen to the hoe. I used to come from the tribe of, throw a temper tantrum. Now I come from the tribe of be like, oh, you know what? I need to think about this. What's the best result I can have? Leads you to Christ. Malachi chapter 3, verse 2 and Malachi chapter 3, verse 3. But who may abide in the day of his coming? The answer to that question is nobody. Who shall stand when he appeareth? Nobody will stand when Christ appeareth. For he is like a refiner's fire. We seen what a refiner's fire look like. Hold on 1 second. Pause for the cause. Do you know what a refiner's fire look like? Do you know what a refiner's fire look like?
Burning coal?
Hold on. Do you know what a refiner's fire look like? Explain to me. You can say it softly. You can say it softly. What's a refiner's fire look like?
It's a purifying pit. They put the fire in here. It's just like an oven, like any other fire. Same thing when somebody's working with metal. Same thing when somebody's working with gold. It all looks the same. It's just a pit. That's a great answer. Whenever somebody's working with metal, whenever somebody's working with gold, Israel, whenever somebody's working with metal, whenever somebody's working with gold, you can't survive a refiner's fire. We can't survive a refiner's fire. A refiner's fire will burn the flesh off of our skin before we even touch it. So when Yahweh comes back, his wrath, his fury, his anger, his presence is going to be so hot, we ain't going to be able to handle it. So the only thing we can do is beg, petition, pray, try to do right now as much as we possibly can. But who may abide in the day of his coming? Who may live in the day of his coming? Who shall stand when he appeareth? Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. Don't that verse make so much more sense now? For he's like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. Pause for the cause. What's a fuller's soap? That's an excellent answer. What's a fuller's soap? That's an excellent answer. So I want to show everybody. I want to talk to everybody, and I also want to show everybody. Say again. Okay. So a refiner of fuller's soap. Let me show you. This is a modern day example of fuller's soap. Okay. Lye soap is a great example. There's a soap, and I learned about this soap when I was young because my father was a master house builder and my father was a master mechanic. Anybody look up Fast Orange, and I'm only using this for an example. You may find a picture of very dirty hands with a little bitty white drop. Fast Orange is a soap that I would gamble on. Fast Orange. First of all, it smells delicious. It's made out of pure citrus, and it has grits. It has lye as one of the ingredients, and it has grain in it. And what it does is for people who have very dirty hands, like mechanics, house builders, mechanics more so, they can wash their clothes and wash their hands in Fast Orange. And this is a fuller's soap example. This will get anything clean. It says when Yahweh comes, he going to get down in the nitty gritty. Matter of fact, I want to order a big old thing of this after the Shabbat. After the Shabbat, I want to order a gallon of orange, of Fast Orange. All right. I don't want to order Gojo. I want to order Fast Orange because that's what I've seen my elders use. I don't want to order Dawn. I don't want to order Gojo. I like what I like. I don't have cheap taste. A Goop is a good brand.
Shop Tough hand soap. I don't want that. I don't want Fast Orange Extreme. I just want some regular Fast Orange. It's a fuller soap because what it does is it's a degreaser. It gets away all the filth and it gets down in the grime, the nitty gritty of it. And that's what a fuller soap example is. Okay. So real quick, Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. But who shall abide in the day of his coming? Nobody. Malachi chapter 3, verse 2. Nobody. Who shall abide? Who shall stand when he appeareth? Ain't nobody gonna stand when Christ comes, because we're gonna be all too afraid. The sky is gonna thunder and crack. The earth is gonna shake from the east to the west. Who gonna be able to be like, it is the Lord? Lord, come and save us. No, everybody gonna be terrified because our conscience is gonna bear witness to all of the sins and all of the bullshnickery that we committed throughout all of our lifetimes. Singular, all of our lifetime, and we're gonna be terrified. He is like a refiner's fire. That was that image of the refiner's fire that we brought up earlier. He is like a fuller soap. That's not like that orange soap that we just brought forward. Verse 3, he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto Yahweh an offering in righteousness. This is a super stupid, extra powerful verse. This verse shows you, is there anybody in the kitchen? Then what? Can you help me with that? Because that's just extra. Is there anybody in the kitchen? No. If there's nobody in the kitchen, can you help with that sound, Baba Kushah? Because that's just disruptive. What's the sound? Oh, okay. Don't worry about it. If you don't understand, then I'll get it fixed. Salaklia. Malachi chapter 3, verse 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. See, the Most High called us his gold and his silver. Is there anybody in the kitchen? Can you take care of that sound that's in there? Because it's just disruptive.
That's in my room.
That's in whose room?
It's in my room. We're talking about the
Yeah, Con. Take care of that. That's fine. And he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier of silver. Because when Yahushua comes, he called us his gold and his silver. Right? That was just stupid. To know what something is and to not manage it is just sottish. Come on, man. That's like 2 steps backwards just to go forward. Yo, we too old for this. We should be going forward without no problem. Come on, man. This is just, man. Come on, man. I did that when I was a child, man. I put away childish things. And he shall sit as a refiner, of purifier, and of silver. Because Yahweh called us his gold and his silver. He shall purify who? The sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer an offering unto Yahweh, an offering in righteousness. This proves that when Yahweh comes back, we're going to be giving sacrifices. This proves that when Yahweh comes back, he's going to put everything back into the sons of Levi's hands. Now, Yahweh is our king, and he showed us what the system is going to be, that he will be king over us. Now, let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 7. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 7. He says what? Therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will what? I will melt them. That's what it means. He got to get the impurities out of us. He got to treat us. He's got to be that. And some elders talk about that thermonuclear destruction. That's a catchphrase. I'm going to keep it 1200 with y'all. Every time y'all hear thermonuclear destruction, ain't nothing going to be hotter than Yahweh's breath. Ain't nothing going to be hotter than Yahweh when he comes. Nothing. Nothing's going to be hotter than Yahushai's vengeance when he returns to purify everything for his son. To hell with a thermonuclear destruction. I know a lot of elders say that, and I respect and I love the elders. At the same time, I give more glory to Yahweh than I do to the Zaquanium. And I ain't disrespecting him. I'm just saying, if you tell me a nuclear bomb is going to drop and it's going to destroy the earth, I'm going to tell you no. The scripture says the earth shall endure forever, and Yahushai is hotter than the thermonuclear bomb. He says what? He says, I will melt them and try them. Yahushua is going to put us through tests. For how shall I do for the daughter of my people? Look at this. Their tongue is as an arrow shot out. You daughter, listen. The daughters of Israel is who this chapter is talking about. If you're an Israelite woman and you don't know this verse, you are fucking failing. You are failing. You listen, you might think you know, but you really don't know. If you don't know Jeremiah chapter 9, but you think you the hot smoking whatnot whoop-de-doos, you are failing. You know why? Because the daughters of Israel are supposed to be so much more submissive, humble, crying, meek, petitioning, and going forward for our nation than what we were 40 and 50 years ago. But y'all are doing great now because y'all know more than what y'all used to know. But for all of those thick, dummy eyelash wearing women, for all those women who are still wearing pants, who still allow their children to listen to thotty music, who are not operating in righteousness, y'all are some failures. Y'all are some failures, man. And it's so funny because back in the day, it's like the black woman was the bomb and the black man was like the deadbeats. But now it's like the Israelite man is the bomb and the women are deadbeats. That's really what it is right now. A lot of Israelite women are deadbeats, and the Israelite men are the ones who's being like the top tier. Because Yahweh said he shall make a man more precious than gold, but the men had to be broken down first. Well, a lot of us sisters and a lot of us men are tired of being broken down. So now you see a lot of sisters operating in righteousness, and you see a lot of men operating in righteousness. And these are going to be the ones that's going to be ruling with Yahushua forever and ever. So you got to allow yourself to be hurt so you can receive your reward. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 8. Somebody read that.
Jeremiah 9 and 8. Their tongue is an arrow shot out.
An arrow shot out. Listen, that's the tongue. Watch your mouth. Yo, why you hurting people with your words still just because you got hurt? Paul said, why you not rather take the wrong? What happened? I thought you had the shield of faith. Come on, read.
It speaketh deceit.
It speaketh deceit. Go ahead.
One speaketh peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he led his way.
Can't wait till this Negro say something wrong. I'm going to tell them off. Go ahead.
Verse 9, shall I not visit them for these things?
The Most High say he's going to pay us back for us being wicked out of our mouths. Go ahead.
Said Yahweh.
Read.
Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this?
Now watch this. Hold that thought. Go to Sirach chapter 28. This ain't nothing new. Ecclesiasticus chapter 28, KJV. This ain't nothing new, man. Yasha'Allah been like this. And the pathetic and sad part about it is the more that we apply for righteousness, the more that you're going to find oppression. And the sick part about it is the finger is always going to be pointed at whoever. Yo, this is really a hard thing. I told my daughter one time, I said, the hardest thing I ever had to do was the right thing. Sirach chapter 28, verse 1. Watch this. He that revengeth, not like, yo, I had to learn how to let people talk crap to me. I'm physically strong. I know I'm physically strong. Right now, I'm fat. I ain't gonna stunt. Like, I know I'm fat, but I'm physically strong. So imagine when 20 years ago, when I was physically strong and I was nothing but diesel. I've always been physically strong, but I always took the right road and allowed people to do whatever, right? Like, not whatever, but, But I allow people to go through it, and you got to be like that too, because Paul said, why do you not rather take the hurt? Why do you not rather take the wrong? Allow yourself to be defrauded. Yo, you a punk if you don't know how to handle these situations still. Don't be a punk and talk to me about how to do stuff and you don't know how to do it yourself. Yo, you weak as a firecracker with no dud. You weak as a firecracker with no fuse and you really a dud. Yo, you weak because you a perpetrator. You a perpetrator, brother. He that revengeth shall find his vengeance from Yahweh, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance. You think you getting away with something? Yahweh gonna bring up your charges on you, just like you calling somebody else a bad name. Yahweh gonna call you a bad name when you stand in front of him. So while you wasting all your breath talking bad about your neighbor, Yahweh gonna do you the same way. Or did you forget? In the same measure which you judge, you gonna be judged. You call somebody a X, Y, and Z, Yahweh gonna be like, yeah, I remember when you did that to somebody else too, and you remember it in your head too, secretly. For we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of the Most High. The Most High says what? Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee. And this is how you know a lot of Israelites are not spiritually mature. I don't care if you can name off the fruits of the Spirit forward and backward. If you ain't displaying or operating in them, you fake. And I've seen it for years. This is what brought me out of the Christian church, when I seen that people wasn't really operating according to what they read and according to what they talked about. And my heart stayed soft, but my back got strong and I turned away from them. I have no problem leaning on Yahweh because he is the only one who won't break your heart and my heart. So what do you have to do, Israel? You have to forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee, or have you not read? Some of you Israelites are still Christians in your heart, and you just faking the funk, and you acting like you're an Israelite, but you really a Sunday worshiping Christian. You just know about being you an Israelite. The Most High says what? Forgive the neighbor the hurt that he hath done unto thee, so that thy sins also may also be forgiven when thou prayest. One man beareth hatred against another, and doth he seek pardon from Yahweh? How you seek pardon from the Most High, and you got a problem with your husband? You got a problem with your rib? You got a problem with your brother, your sister, your mother? Yo, don't you know you gotta let go and let God? You forgot about that part, huh? Yo, this is real. He showeth no mercy to man. You can't wait to turn up. You can't wait to turn up, brother. You show no mercy to man, which is like himself, and doth ask forgiveness of his own sins. Yo, you a hypocrite, you fake son. If he that is but flesh nourishes hatred, who will entreat for pardon of his sins? You want help with that? Let me help you. If he that is but flesh nourish hatred, you ain't nothing but flesh and bones and stinky doo-doo booty. All men smell. All women got a smell. It don't matter how many oils or incense or what you call it, Bath and Body Works, which I actually have a law. I prohibit Bath and Body Works, and the reason being is because it has a lot of cancerous agents. So therefore, I promote olive oil. I promote frankincense. I promote anointed, set-apart oils for my family. I had my sisters to throw away all their Bath and Body. I was like, yo, we ain't using that. First of all, I don't like that smell. You need to smell like what I like, not what you used to be in the world. Get rid of that. Because we're flesh. If he that is but flesh nourisheth hatred, who will entreat for the pardon of his sins? You know why? Because you're going to have to stand before Yahushua one day. Remember thy end and let enmity cease. Let's get the definition of enmity. One of the most pathetic things that I've seen is Israelites to have enmity with other Israelites. Now, I ain't gonna stunt. I'm guilty of this too, and it's pathetic on my behalf. Because I got some brothers who, like, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna keep it 1200. I don't like that brother. I don't like X, Y, and Z about them. And I need to fix that about me. Look at this. The definition of enmity: the state of feeling or being actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. If you got some active hostility, yeah, I ain't gonna stunt. I just don't like that brother, man. Like, I seen him lie, and I'm not a liar. But when I see somebody openly lie, like, yo, did you? But then again, I still need to fix myself because maybe they didn't lie on purpose. Maybe they lied out of ignorance. And maybe in a few years, they might be better. It all boiled down to you, Yashal. It all boiled down to me. Let's get back to this reading. Remember thy end and let enmity cease. Remember corruption and death and abiding the commandments. Yo, this is so funny because I feel like to where I know how it took me through a transformation. I just feel like some people, haven't went through the same phases of transformations and they just know stuff. But, it reminds me of why I got to be humble because Moses had to go through this. Masha, we wanted to stone Moses. You men don't ever get spiteful of your woman because your woman said something you didn't like. We said stuff. Let me grab my Flavius Josephus real quick. All right. I gotta get off of this too, man, because I have an appointment with some elders. So I'm gonna grab Flavius Josephus. All right. The hardest thing I ever had to do, just like you, will always be the right thing. And the right thing comes along with allowing your feelings to be hurt so that you can continue to do the right thing, you women and you men of Israel. If I go to Josephus, it's going to prove a good point, but it'll take us further away from what our initial understanding was. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 9. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 9. Shall I not visit them for these things, saith Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged for on such a nation as this? Why? Because of the way that we talked about each other, the way we hurt each other. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 10. For the mountains will I take up a weeping and wailing, and for the habitations of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burnt up, so that none can pass through them, neither can men hear the voice of cattle. Both the fowl of the heavens and the beast are fled, they are gone. All right. We're going to skip down a little bit. Yahweh's talking about how our land is going to be destroyed. And his judgment is going to come. Verse 12, he says what? Who is a wise man that may interpret this? And who is he to whom the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken that he may declare it? For what? The land perished and is burnt up like a wilderness that none passeth through. Verse 13. And Yahweh saith, because they have forsaken my law, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart. Niggas do what they want to do. Talk about people, gossip, talebear, backbite. The imagination of my own heart. Yo, Yahweh said, don't kindle on the Sabbath, but yo, I'm going to cook anyways. Yahweh said, don't do your own pleasures on the Sabbath, but I'm going to have sexual pleasure on the Sabbath. Yahweh said, don't work on the Sabbath, but I got to get this money. Yahweh said, wear fringes, but I don't want to dress like that because I got to tuck in my shirt for my job. Yo, you see how far removed we are? We went from being obedient to the Most High to doing whatever it is we wanted to do, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart. And after Balaam, which their fathers taught them. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh host, the Allah of Yasharallah, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with bitterness. That's what wormwood is. With wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. You niggas is going to go into slavery to white people, to Caucasians, Europeans, Edomites, Hamites, Arabs, East Indians. You're going to go into slavery to Chinese. Chinese is going to be in front of your tour buses. It's going to be like, go home, nigga. Nigga, 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 nigga. Go home, nigga. If y'all ain't seen that video, I'll share it with you. I will send a sword after them till I have consumed them. That sword is his judgment, which includes slavery in the Americas and the Caribbeans. Thus saith Yahweh host, consider ye and call for the what? Shaquat! You got to figure out a way to do that and don't overtalk me. Call for the what? Call for the mourning women. You know what the mourning women are? The mourning women ain't the women who cry because they stumped their toe. The mourning women ain't the women that cry because they don't like something that they heard. The mourning women are the wise women who actually know how to cry to Yahweh for their whole nation, for their families, for the whole nations. That's what the mourning women are. The Most High says, call for the mourning women that they may come, and send for the cunning women. The cunning women are the wise women who actually know how to operate in the law, statutes, and commandments. So he says, Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17, if you don't know this, you are failing. You did not make the grade, but you can still make the grade. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17. I love y'all so much. I'm going to copy paste it for you. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17. Because right now, a lot of you women ain't really in the capacity of women. Y'all got vaginas. Y'all have menstrual cycles. Y'all got breasts, but you ain't really a daughter of Sarah because you still tripping off getting amazed by stuff. So small things still throw you for a loop. So you really ain't a daughter of Sarah. All right. Daughter of Sarah, who you are, as long as you be not amazed. All right. And that's the point. A lot of you women, y'all just got vaginas and y'all, you're not really a woman yet. You're not. A lot of you men, you're not really men yet. And this is coming from not only somebody who got experience, but I'm gaining experience. And I feel good about it. My experience points is going up. All right. I'm going to show y'all a scripture, and this should help every woman in the world. If it don't help you, then, then may the portion of a sinner fall upon you. All right. That's what the Most High says about a wicked woman. He says, may the portion of a sinner fall upon her. You know what the portion of a sinner is? The portion of a sinner is death. Look at this. This is 1 Peter chapter 3. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of wives. This means you older women that's in the truth need to stop acting like shameless damn dogs and act like respectful women, because don't claim if you got a good husband and your husband don't claim you his rib, show you his rib by your good behavior. You Israelite women, stop running off other Israelite women. And I commend all of you newer ribs who refuse to get ran off, all right, by misbehavior of old women that's acting like good wives. For those of you who understand, y'all understood what I just said. Because some women aren't really ribs, they just good wives. I'm going to say it again, you a good wife. You are excellent. You are a wonderful wife. So stop acting like good wives and running off women. I got scriptures on that all day. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye ribs, that word should be tazalayim. That word should be ribs or wives. Likewise, you ribs, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any be not the word, that if any obey not the word, they also may obey the word, they may also without the word be won by conversation of ribs. So if you know a little young daughter or a young sister and she a wife or she a rib and she don't listen to the scriptures, guess what? She's supposed to listen to you based off your good behavior. But if you misbehaving and if you being rude and you talking back and you ain't got no discretion, the other women are going to watch you do that. And they're going to follow your example. They're going to follow your behavior pattern. They're not going to listen to the words you say. They're going to disrespect their husbands, which God forbid their husbands be your sons. And then their sons, you got to deal with their passions. God forbid it be somebody that's close to you because the children have seen your misbehavior. It's going to all come back to you because Yahweh said what? He will curse the children to the third, fourth, fifth generations. So the Most High forbid women's misbehavior transition down to other generations. A soft answer turneth away wrath. Have ye not read? Verse 2. While they behold your what? While they watch your chaste conversation coupled with fear. Oh, you women ain't learned how to have chaste conversation yet? You might not be an adult yet. You might not be a grown woman. You might be a little girl still learning how to grow. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear. I hate having to teach all the time and then our words not heard. Like, I love the fact that my elders cut the hell out of me. And sometimes I just got to put my head down and be like, yo, consequence, yo. And I got to wait till they finish talking. I got to be like, yo, and I'll be saying all the stuff. And then while I'm thinking these thoughts in my head, I got to be like, yo, but what they saying is right, though. For all these years that Yahweh's taught, my first prayer was, Yahweh, teach me how to, I wasn't even saying Yahweh, I was saying God, Jesus, Lord, teach me how to love. I read 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I went down the list of love is this, love is not this, love is this. And the most sickening part about it is when I know Yahweh delivered me from stuff, but somebody called me it. Like Yahweh delivered me from that. I know I'm not that no more. Watch this. Once you ask Yahweh for something, he gonna give it to you. If you're sincere, and it might not be the way you thought it was, but if you go through it, you'll get your reward. I got my reward. I know how to love today now. I've had ribs who've left, commit adultery, all the other stuff. I got children with whores, but they didn't appear to be whores at first. After they left, commit adultery, I was like, oh, lake of fire for you. You a whore. Yo, go and don't sin. Don't sin. I'm sorry. I thought you were stronger than that. Don't sin. And then what I found out was it ain't about what they do. It's about what you do, Israel. It's not about what they do, women. Yo, woman, it's not about what that man do. It's about what do you do in this situation. No phone calls, please. I'm turning my phone off. No phone calls. If you need me, contact me right here or send a message on WhatsApp, 614-992-677. So it's not about 614-999-2677 on WhatsApp if you need me. Or send a message right here. It's not about what somebody else do. It's about what you do. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Have you not read? Whose adorning, let it be not that outward adorning. Yeah, you look nice. Of the plaiting of hair and wearing of gold and putting on of apparel. But let it be the hidden man of the heart in that which is not corruptible. Even the ornament of, look at this, a meek and quiet spirit. You can't get around that. A meek and quiet spirit. Yeah, I laugh at that too. Not just all Qatariya. You know why? Because I had to learn how to. For men, it's hard to have a meek spirit because men are naturally aggressive. So it takes a very strong man to speak with a soft voice. And sometimes we have to laugh at situations. And it's respectable. It's understandable. And sometimes it's not even laughing. It's just like, yo, yo. You know, Sometimes not even laughing. It's just like, yo, okay. I was a snapback king. All right. And Yahweh changed my words. He changed my thoughts. He changed the way I look at people.
You have to ask for it though, right?
I had to beg for that. I had to beg for it. I had to cry for it. And then when people was tripping with me, because I ain't gonna stunt, even if somebody don't think I am or I was a real gang banger. I was a real HGC 107. I was a real his eyes shall be evil towards his neighbor. I didn't grow up in a household to where my father and my mother instructed. We grew up in environments to where it was murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. You will die. Sit in the corner, trick. I grew up in those environments at a very early age, and Yahweh healed me. And he's healing you. He will heal you right now. But husbands, don't give up on your ribs because you don't like the way he spoke to you. Ribs, don't give up on your husband because he's going through a growth process and he's learning how to be a man of Yahweh. Okay? We can't do this without each other. Don't give up on each other. And if you're a woman, you have to know how to follow the woman G code. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all one of the coldest women that I know in this truth. Two of the coldest women that I know. 3, 4. I'm gonna tell y'all a couple of coldest women that I know in this truth who followed the G code plan and they were redeemed. First, our mother Sarah. She followed Abraham from continents. She walked with him from continents. She played and ran game on kings. And she followed, and our mother Sarah was never defiled. She never had sex with nobody. A lot of you women done have more rods than can be numbered and named, and different shapes, sizes, colors, all those other things. And y'all think y'all the whippers or dippers? Y'all harlots. Don't forget, you was zanah because you didn't have sex with only one man. You had sex with multiple men, and you think you the whippers or dippers? You not, because Israelite men are only supposed to have sex with virgins. Israelite men, don't think you the whippers or dippers because you had sex with a grip of women. You was a harlot too. You was a harlot too, brother. Not a harlot because that refers to a woman, but you was a whoremongerer also. So we all have to submit ourselves. We all have to admit our faults, and we got to remember to have a meek and a quiet spirit. It's okay to raise your voice sometimes. But if you're a woman, it's never okay to raise your voice at your husband. If you're a woman and you don't know how to control your tone of voice, you ain't a woman yet. You're still a little girl learning how to be a woman because children don't know how to control themselves. Just like a little boy, a grown man who throws temper tantrums is domestic violence. A grown man who don't know how to control his emotions, those are the men who lash out and they punch holes in walls, they kick and they hit and they stomp feet and they punch their family members and they raise their voice. That's just a grown man throwing a temper tantrum. A woman who does the same is a woman who throws a temper tantrum. And we have to have 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 4, a meek and quiet spirit. Watch this, which in the sight of Yahweh is of great price. Why wouldn't you want to have that, brother? I used to be a loudmouth, super extra stupid dummy. I can either be funny or I can be very offensive. I can either be funny or I can be very offensive, or I can be neither one of those. I'm going to tell y'all, it takes practice. You got to learn how to control your tone, men and women of Israel. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 5. For after this manner, in old time, look at this. Look at this. Who wouldn't want this? For after this manner, this is why I always start from verse 1. A lot of these dudes be lying and they only follow the system of what they so-called elders teach them, of what they call precept upon precept, line upon line. But in reality, precept upon precept, really, what does the word precept mean? What's precept mean? I'm asking in the room.
Verse.
Great job. You did an excellent job. Good job, Maya Fatu. You called it. Put it down on the floor. Put it down on the floor. Good. You did great. Your reflexes are so good. You are so smart. Great job. What's precept upon precept mean?
Verse upon verse.
What's precept upon precept mean?
Basically, something that comes from something else.
No, on both of those answers. The word precept means law. Look it up. And this is why also, will you grab that so nobody steps on that popcorn shell? And she did it really good. As soon as she seen it falling, she used her I forgot the name of the skills. Cognitive. She used her cognitive skills and she made sure she caught it. If it won't go up like that perfectly, or if it's up only temporarily, then I'll figure out a way to put it up more solidified. All right. So excellent. So look up the word precept upon precept. It literally means law upon law. And a lot of these baby brews that's growing up in this truth that are younger than 10 years old or younger than 5 years old, they think if they find a verse that matches another verse, then, oh, this is what it means. No, that's not what it means. It means law. It means instruction upon instruction. Don't find two words that match in a verse, and now you think that you done found two. I can find a verse that say he, and I can find a verse that say it and it. I can find a verse that made a doctrine out of the word manner and manner, for and for, themselves and themselves, Sarah and Sarah. But that's not what precept upon precept means. It means instruction upon instruction, law upon law. And if you don't study the Torah portion, how can you possibly learn what are Yahweh's instructions? You can't. You're going to be listening to somebody else's doctrinal breakdown. And this is why we tell our people, study the Torah portion. If you can't read it, listen to it. If you don't gather with a whole assembly, gather with just one or two. If you're unclean, you're on your menstrual cycle, you're on flour, you got blood coming out of you. This is men, because sometimes men have blood coming out of them too. That's the reality. Sometimes men have sperm coming out of them. So both of these are unclean issues. So brother, you got to ask yourself, mother, woman, sister, you got to ask yourself, am I right now within myself worthy to gather, or should I be set apart? If I'm meant to be set apart, Yahweh will acknowledge you and give you reverence. If I'm meant to be gathered, then Yahweh will acknowledge you and call you worthy. Look at this. Every woman should know Jeremiah chapter 9 and 1 Peter chapter 3. For after this manner, in the old time, look at this. The holy women. In order to understand that, we got to go back up to verse 4. Verse 4. But let it be the hidden man of the heart. Now, I'm going to give y'all an extra jewel because I believe in freedom in teaching. I believe in not stifling education. If you really want to understand this verse, read Clementine Homilies chapter 13. I've read it and shared it with my ribs, my children, my mother. I've read Clementine Homilies chapter 13 because it helped me. And I understand why Jewish white men get multiple wives while they're already married, because their principle is this right here. Women grow physically more mature than men, but men grow spiritually more mature than women. So what they do is when they find out that their women are growing spiritually mature, they will fire their ribs and they'll get a new rib to come in. But what they end up doing is making whores out of their women and not being Christ-like and going through the actual growth process. Israelites, do not put away your wife for any cause. You are a punk if you put away your woman for any cause. Israelite women, don't divorce your husband for any cause. You are a whore and an adulterer if you put away your husband for any cause. You can't put away your husband at all. You finished. If you have a kobach, then you're supposed to be going from your father to your husband, and that's it. And you were born in that state. Men, you are born to bear the burden of Adam. So don't put away your rib for any cause, except it be adultery, men. And if she commits adultery, never take her back. Ever. Ever, ever. Don't be, oh, I love you. We can make it right. It'll never be right. Anybody she lays with after that, they both defiled, son. and you defile yourself. And I can show you that in Flavius Josephus. I can show you because I can show you that in the Torah. Just ask me, I'll show you. All right. Let's get back to this. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 4. But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in which is not corruptible. This is talking about the women, even the ornament of meek and quiet spirit. The scripture says a quiet and loving woman is a gift of the Lord. It says a loud woman will be used to chase away the army. The scripture says, what? Give me Sirach chapter 25. Both of y'all get Sirach. Everybody get Sirach chapter 25. Sirach chapter 25, we're gonna start at verse 20. Okay. All right, whoever get it first gets the privilege of reading the word of Yahweh. Call it out.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 20. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged.
Stop. The climbing up of a sandy hill to the feet of an old man. Imagine a 80, 90, 70-year-old man trying to climb up a sandy hill. What's that going to be like?
It's not going to be.
What do you say? What do you say it's going to be like? An old man trying to climb up a sandy hill. It ain't going to happen. It might happen. You don't think it's going to happen? I say it's gonna happen. I say it can happen. I'm gonna say it can happen because think about it. A 70, 90-year-old man, he determined. He done been through all kind of whatnots one way. He done had his Netflix account canceled. You feel me? His Hulu ain't working. He done been through ribs.
25 and 20.
So Sirach chapter 25 and verse 20. Read that again out loud.
As the climbing up a sandy way is to the feet of the aged.
So as the climbing up, imagine, don't be afraid to use your imagination in the scriptures. As the climbing up of a sandy sand dune, a sandy hill. That's how Yahweh saved me. I had just robbed a house. I had just committed a B&E, and I didn't get away with it. I had to pay the price later. And after I committed the B&E, I had all the stuff that I had stolen. I had stashed it. And I'm like, yo, I got to get away because I knew the enemy was coming. And I went down into this ditch, and I'm trying to climb up this ditch, and it was a rainy day, and I couldn't get no footing. I couldn't grab nothing. And I used to be very good at breaking into houses and stealing. I used to be very good at that. That's why I be telling my family, cover the windows. Block the windows. Yo, lock the windows. Because I used to be watching outside of people's windows. That was the wickedness I used to be involved in. I used to be a professional burglar / wicked Negro. I ain't going to go into all the details. So as I had just robbed this institution, and I'm trying to get away, and I wasn't in the truth yet, I had jumped down into this ditch, and I'm trying to climb out. I couldn't climb out. And I had to beg God Almighty in the name of Jesus to save and help me, right? I had to ask him in Jesus' name, okay? And when I was in that ditch, when I was at my lowest point, and I realized I was finished, that's when I broke down in tears, and I asked him to help me, to show me. And then he sent me to prison for 5 years. And in prison, when I was sitting quiet, he showed me things in Revelations. 5 years of not having sex, 5 years of not being in any situation to where I had my personal indulgence. He delivered me and showed me things I would have not possibly seen without any other man with me, and he showed me through the power of the Holy Spirit. And then when I got out, he showed me I was an Israelite. 2 years after I got out, he taught me I was an Israelite. I spent 10 years out of my life incarcerated, 8 years. I spent 8 years out of my life incarcerated. And Yahweh delivered me. My point of saying that is to say this. At the time, I didn't have a meek and quiet spirit. Husbands, you should only raise your voice when you have to, and you don't always have to. Women, you should only raise your voice when you have to, but you don't always have to. Read that verse again.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, verse 20. As the climbing up a sandy way is to the
feet of the age, right? So it's a hard thing. It's frustrating. It's troubling. And, you know, I'm having a hard time. I just want to get over this damn hill. Read.
So is a wife full of words to a quiet man.
So is a wife full of words to a quiet man. You are a damn frustration. Shut up. Shut up. Stop talking. Be quiet. Be quiet. Hold that thought. Go to Sirach chapter 26. Everybody get this for your personal lives. And how can I call these verses out? Because Yahweh showed them to me to where I can read them now. I can quote them. Sirach chapter 26, start at verse 25.
Ecclesiastes 26 and 25. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog.
Everybody know this verse. A woman that ain't got no shame is a bitch. The description of a shameless woman and a shameless dog I didn't just say the word bitch because it's fun to say. A shameless woman, what is a shame? What is a female dog? It's a bitch. That's the definition. A shameless woman, shut up, shall be counted as a dog. This is the street teacher's favorite verse. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. Read.
But she that is shamefaced will fear Yahweh.
So the woman who really fears Yahweh, she'll learn how to be quiet. That's how you can tell children of Israel, men of Israel, women of Israel. If you went through these sincere, and that's the problem. Some of us know that we Israelites, but we ain't went through the heartbreak. We ain't went through the changes. We ain't went through the phases. Me, I praise Yahweh. He broke my heart when I was a heathen. He broke my heart when I was wicked as hell, not when I was already righteous. And then I came into the truth, or self-righteous, and I came to the Most High broke my heart when I was wicked as hell. And then he showed me and he helped me. I didn't want to be wicked no more. Read.
Verse 26. A woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. But she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all.
Read.
A loud crying woman.
A what?
A loud crying woman and a scold.
Stop. A scold is a boiling hot pot that's at the top of a wall. If somebody was trying to break in your house and you seen them at your front door and you had a boiling hot pot and you tipped that boiling hot pot full of oil over, it's called a scold. It used to be used in military tactics. I read these verses, Yahweh's favor be upon us all. Yahweh showed me these verses when I was wicked as hell and when I was ignorant, not when I was in the truth and when I learned how to do right. He showed me these verses when I had no idea what I was going through, what I was talking about, I was like, dang, ooh, dang. He showed me these verses when I didn't know nothing, and I still don't know nothing. So if you a loud crying woman in your own house, you ashamed. If you a man and you got stomping feet and you talk with your hands and you're a roaring lion and you're a terrorizer and you physically abusive in your own house, you ashamed. Because we're not supposed to be physically abusive, although a man can get a whooping in Israel, a child can get a whooping in Israel. Don't think a woman can't get a whooping in Israel. Why? Because she a woman and she gonna cry. Guess what the Most High said? The Most High said, discipline your son and pay no heed to his tears. We used to stone people to death, men, women, and children. And the objective was to teach our people to not do it no more. I would that we still had the water that we can pour over, get the dust, put it in a cup, and tell the woman, here, drink this. Prove that you ain't committed adultery. We ain't got no proof. Because we was disobedient. I would that I can be like, here, drink this water because I just don't trust you no more. Prove to me that you ain't committed adultery. And she could be yelling like, nigga, I ain't do nothing, nigga. You blibbly blabbity bloop. And when she proved that she didn't do nothing, she got a male, a firstborn son during springtime. But if she did do something, that box would rot and her belly would swell. We lost our privileges that Yahweh gave us for being disobedient, men, women, and children of Israel. We are supposed to be keeping the Shabbat day holy and set apart. I would that I could go into my different life experiences, but it ain't no worth in it right now. I would like to encourage everybody. If you are a man and woman, learn Jeremiah chapter 9. Jeremiah chapter 9, the Most High cries out. He tells us that he would weep for the women. He tells the women to be cunning in his word. Now, we're going to go back to Jeremiah chapter 9. But we read that because we seen two things. Sirach chapter 25 and Sirach chapter 26, Yahweh hates a loudmouth woman. Ain't no way around it. And if you're a woman and you a loudmouth, you better believe the scripture says the woman that is bold, both her father and her husband shall both despise her. I used to be a loudmouth dude. Like I can play around, I can joke, I can kid, I can be like X, Y, and Z. But at the end of it, sometimes all you got to do is say something to me and I'll be like, all right, I'll take care of it. And if I got it, if I can, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll be like, hold on, well, you know, most times will X, Y, and Z, I guess. I don't know. You know. So if you can, children of Israel, learn how to be more disciplined in our characters. This goes for the men. I know I use verses for the women, but this goes for the men first. This goes for us first. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17, because we're going to get some more jewels out of this. All right, if you're a woman and you don't know Jeremiah chapter 9, you failing, son. You failing, daughter. Jeremiah chapter 9 is a cold cut to help fix you. And we should love hearing these scriptures to fix us. And yo, men, if you a man and you punked out because your woman got an attitude, yo, you a sucker. You can't get punked out by no woman. Nigga, you know how weak you are if you get punked out by a woman. You just gonna let her flim flam, whatnot, whoom wham on you, gonna let her blow down on you, and then you gonna be like, well, fuck it. Do what you want to do then. That is the worst thing you can ever say to a woman. Give them permission to do what they want to do. Because they're gonna go and do it. And they're gonna be like, well, you told me I could. Nah, you gotta be like, nah, you ain't gonna do what you want to do. You're gonna do what I said to do. Because I love you. So don't punk out, men of Israel. Love your ribs, hold them close, because once they finish with whatever it is they're going through, they're going to remember the time frame, just like when Masha gave his life, when he died for us. We wanted to stone Masha, Moses. We wanted to stone him to death. And when it was time for him to go from us, we cried like babies because we remember how we mistreated him. We remembered that he never gave up on us. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17. Let's get there. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 17. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider ye and call for the who?
Morning women.
For the mourning women, that they may come, and send for the who?
Cunning women.
If you want to be a cunning woman, you got to take on those attributes that we just read. Learn how to shut your mouth. That's the first. Every woman, learn how to shut your mouth. My mother's a Gadite to the core. My mother's a North American Indian, and she breaks my heart whenever she puts her hand over her mouth. My mother won't say nothing when she's really upset. If my mama don't like you, she ain't gonna talk to you. And it's heartbreaking. But she got that from her tribe. My mother is a Gadite, and I ain't saying that just guessing. I know my grandfather, all right? Matter of fact, I think his middle name was Lee, Jerry Lee Morrow, unless I'm tripping. All right, Jerry Morrow, all right? But I really do think his middle name was Lee for some reason, Jerry Morrow. But he was a Gadite, big old tall Gadite dude. I got pictures of him. And his daughter, my Amma, her name is Amma Zaquan. Whenever she's not dealing with you, she just won't talk to you. We need more cunning women in Israel. And if you're a cunning woman and you see women going the heck off, you need to tell them where they're going wrong at, because it's y'all's job to teach the other women how to be holy, how to be set apart. It's y'all's job to teach the other women how to behave correctly. All right. We're going to come back to that. We're going to go to 1 Peter. So everybody grab 1 Peter, but we're going to look at Jeremiah. We're going to stay in Jeremiah, but everybody grab 1 Peter. So put 1 Peter in your thumb marks. All right. But Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 7, every man, every woman should know this. He says what? All right. Make sure y'all grab 1 Peter. All right. So thus saith Yahweh of hosts, consider ye and call for the mourning women, that they may come, and send for the cunning women. The cunning women are usually the elder women who know how to operate in wisdom. The mourning women are the younger women who know how to cry to Yahweh. So he says, call for all ages, that they may come. Watch this. And let them make haste and take up a wailing. So this means hurry up, you women. We need y'all. Let them make haste and take up a wailing for us, that what? That our eyes may run down with tears and our eyelids gush out with waters. So we just read Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 1 through verse 17. The whole thing was about the women. When you get down to verse 18, now he's finally talking about men. In verse 18, now he's finally talking about men. So in verse 18, he says, let them make haste and take up a wailing for us. We need y'all to take up a crying for us, not bitching at us, not yelling at us, not arguing at us. The scripture says a drippy roof, a drippy faucet, and a over talkative woman are the same. The scripture says, I would rather live in a house in the attic eating dry crust than with an argumentative woman eating steak. Scripture says I would rather live in a cave with a lion and a bear than with an argumentative woman. So we all got a lot of growing up to do, Israel. And take up a wailing for us is what y'all supposed to do. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 18. That what? That our eyes may run down with tears. Every time I hear an Israelite woman sing songs of praise, it makes me want to praise. And that our eyelids gush out with waters. Verse 19. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Verse 20. Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O ye who?
Women.
O ye who?
Women.
Scripture's calling directly out to y'all. Hear the word of Yahweh, O ye women, and let your ear receive the words of what?
His mouth. Of
his mouth. So don't y'all let nobody tell y'all that the Bible is talking to men only. Don't let nobody tell y'all that wisdom, the spirit of the Most High, is only dealing with men only. We got Jeremiah chapter 9 all day talking straight to y'all. It's not all bad for women, but we know of the woman came to begin of sin, and through her we all live an abundant life. Nah, it says, of the woman came to begin of sin, and through her we all die. Mm-hmm. And through her we all die. It's because our foremother Eve, you women have menstrual cycles. Mm-hmm. It was because our foremother Eve, she committed the first sin of adultery. She listened to another male figure, which was the serpent, instead of listening to the voice of her husband, who Yahweh gave her. And that's the first thing that y'all women mess up on. Y'all listen to somebody else instead of listening to your husband. I don't care if it's your daddy, your uncle, your mama, your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your son, your daughter. It don't matter who it is. If you ain't listening to your husband, you're going the hell off. You're going off. And that's what Eve did. She listened to a different figure before she listened to her husband. So if the woman came to begin to sin, and to her we all die. And then the Father's so gracious that he tells us how to get back to that state. He tells you women how to get back to that state. Verse 20, it reads what? Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O ye women, and let your ear receive the words from his mouth. So he shows you that he's talking to you women. Man, listen, I'm going to keep it all the way 1200 funky. Before I knew all of these women who I currently know now, I've been advocating for the daughters of Israel because Yahweh showed me how much we needed them. Plus, I don't want to live in a kingdom with all men only anyways. I love my brethren, but I like something soft. My brothers is hard legs. Before I knew any of these sisters, we was already reading these scriptures. Back in the day, when we came up with a concept called Wisdom's Corner, Kakma's Corner. This is one of the premier scriptures to show that we need you women. We need you daughters. Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O ye women, let your ear receive the words of his mouth and teach your daughters wailing. Don't teach your daughters how to disrespect the husband, disrespect the father. Don't teach your daughters how to twerk. Don't teach your daughters how to show their bums and be wicked. Teach your daughters how to cry like you learning how to cry. If you praying, guess what? Your daughter should be on your knees right next to you praying with you. They should look over at you. They should see you praying and crying, and they should be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yahweh said, teach your daughters wailing, and everyone her who? Her neighbor lamentation. Because the women of Israel are supposed to teach the other women how to cry aloud to the Most High. And that's the principle. That's a truth. You want to teach your daughters how to do something? You want to teach your sisters how to do something? Teach your daughters and your sisters how to cry to Yahweh. I'm so ashamed of every Israelite woman who defames their husbands, their brothers, their sons in front of other children. It's the most vomit-inducing thing ever. And I've been through it so many years, and it's truth. I just absolutely lose grasp of reality. And I'll just be like, yo, I've done this before. I've seen this before. Yeah, women who don't know how to shut the hell up in front of children disgust me because they don't see. Here's the part that bothers me. They claim they love children, but they will disrespect Yahweh. They'll disrespect the husband. They'll disrespect their fathers. They'll disrespect themselves in front of children, but all the while they'll claim they love children. No, you don't. You a liar. If you love children, you would shut the hell up and you would show children a better example, especially if you are a rib. Now, men who say that they love Yahweh and say they love their rib and say that they love their children, but yet they argue in front of the children, you a liar and you a punk. You a liar and you a punk. You a punk buster. Matter of fact, you a buster, homie, because you don't know how to control yourself. And you know that children hear everything. You forgot when you was a little kid and you used to sit against the wall and hear adults argue in front of you. You forgot when you was a kid and you used to smell the fun. They smoking that funny smoke. You forgot. You wicked and you a punk. You a buster and you disgust me. It's annoying as hell. See, the thing with me is that I remember stuff. I pay attention. Sometimes I forget stuff. I'll be like, oh, that wasn't my bumper. Hey, I ran over my own bumper. So I'll be like, oh, that wasn't my bumper. That wasn't my bumper. That was somebody else's bumper, somebody else's car. Yeah, they did that, not me. I just kept it cruising. And I was like, I ain't gonna say we don't make mistakes. I ain't gonna say that. We make mistakes. But whenever we dealing with Yaladium, whenever we dealing with children, you got to break yourself, fool. You got to break. I got that off the movie. Break yourself, fool. You got to break yourself. Don't ever argue in front of children because they lose respect for you. I remember being a child, losing respect for adults. And then we only do it out of what? Out of our own passions. So whoever can subdue their passions, what you got to do is you have to humbly learn how to bring things back into full remembrance later when everybody else's passions are humbled also. Don't be a roaring lion in your own household. And I hate it that a lot of you women think that y'all not verbally abusive, and y'all are. A lot of you women are abusive as hell, but y'all really are going against the standards of righteous biblical customs. And a lot of you men, y'all are doing the same things too. Aha. A lot of you men, you're doing the same thing too. You're going against the righteous biblical standard because you're not controlling your passions. Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 20. Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O ye women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth. Teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. For death is come up into our windows and is entered into our places to cut off the children from without. Cold game. And y'all ain't paying attention to the children, man. And the young men from the streets. Speak thus, saith Yahweh, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the field, and as the handful after the harvestmen, and none shall gather them. Thus saith Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. Let not the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches. But let him that glorifieth glory in this, that he understand and knoweth me. And that's the point. So you women, we need you. You want to glory? You want to be big balling and, whoopty wham and politicking and all that stuff. Remember, anything that you talk about, you are up for scrutiny in, and it's truth. If you want to glorify in the fact that you understand and know Yahweh's laws, statutes, and commandments. It's a statute for men and for women to operate together in this ministry. Reading on. That I, Yahweh, which exercise what? Loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith Yahweh. Verse 25. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For what? For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised, and they're what? In their hearts. That's the point. I'm going to yield the floor. Every man, woman, and child of Yasha'Allah should know the book of of Jeremiah chapter 9. All right. Isaiah chapter 9. Yo, it's a blessing to know that. And Shalom Rashwan Yahushamalata also allows us to think before you speak, hold your tongue. I commend you, Rashwan. You've changed immensely. You used to be a girl who wore really tight pants, who used to show off her bum, and you used to be, really flippy at the lip. You wasn't out there in the streets. You wasn't a hot girl. You was a good girl school teacher, but I remember you from back in the day, and you really changed, and I praise Yahweh for that change that you made. And you're right. It does teach us to think before we speak, because sometimes I watch you, and me, I'm not the easiest Adawan to deal with. And the reason why I'm not easy is because I can't be. All right. There's a principle that says, don't let your servant, and women are servants. Don't ever forget that. If you have a quabah, if you have a gash, all right, you are a servant. You were born a servant. Don't forget that. The word daughter, the word rib, the word wife, the word sister, all of those are synonymous with servant. I watched Rashwan Irab go from a very very woman who was in the world, but not too bad. She just talked back a lot. I watched her go from that to a woman who knows how to hold her tongue when it came to dealing with Adonium, and she listens to her head more than she listens to any other man. She said, Con, I was flippy though. LOL. I don't remember that. LOL. I was flippy though. LOL. I don't remember that. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you was flippy at the lip, you know. And a lot of daughters of Israel, you know, you might not know that, you know. But the point of saying all such is to say, you know, it does take growth. It does take change, and it takes heartbreaking. When we're looking at this week's Torah portion, I'm going to yield that. I want everybody, Baba Kusha, please make sure that you all keep it in consideration. All right, I'm going to get this last scripture on that subject. Don't fall out the way. All right, 1 Peter, look at this. 1 Peter, everybody get this and document this for your lives. Document this for your life, because I'm not a woman. This don't pertain to me. I don't got a gash. I got an Audi. Okay. All right. I don't have to wear a diaper. All right. Look at this. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him what? Adawan, calling him Lord. Look, but here's the cold part about this verse. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. A lot of brothers like that part because it proves that the women has to call us Adawan, Adon, or Lord. That's a fact. That's true. Y'all do because we are. But here's the part that's not harped on. I'm gonna focus on this. Look, whose daughters ye are. So you are a daughter of Sarah. Look at this. As long as you do well. Yeah, you can lose your Sarah card. How about that? You can lose your Sarah card. Daughter of Sarah, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Quit acting like you bugging out of your mind because you done got spooked or shooked about something. You want me to look up the word amazement? I done broke this verse down before, so let me go ahead and do it for y'all real quick. This ain't nothing new. All right. Let's get the word amazement. Whose daughter you are, as long as you are what? Abraham's daughter, as long as you are not afraid with any amazement. Let me go ahead and break this down for you real quick. As long as you don't get shook based off of something that you don't like that you heard. As long as you don't get shook based off of something that you like, you didn't like, you sing, you got another sister wife? You want me to cook? I gotta wear a garment. I gotta take out my weave. Oh no! You mean you don't like me wearing press-on nails? You don't like my 38-inch eyelashes? I'm out here flashing with my high beams. See, you women can't get shook with any astonishment. You gotta be strong. Don't get shook with any surprise. Yo, you got to be strong, sister. Don't go through any bewilderment. Yo, Aqua, you a daughter of Sarah as long as you don't go through any shock. Yo, you can't be living up under any stupefaction. And there's a lot of women that be going through stupefaction right now. I ain't going to stunt. I mean, it's been happening for a long time. I know one specific sister. She be going through hella stupefaction. But I don't entertain the fact that she go through stupefaction. I just be like, yo, she's stupefied, so I ain't gonna say nothing. Yo, you a daughter, sister, as long as you ain't dismayed. If you don't go through no consternation, all right? As long as you don't go through no devastation, no confusion, no perplexity, no incredulity. I said that all the way wrong. Incredulity. Don't be incredible. Don't be incredible. All right. I don't know what that word is. Don't go through no disbelief. Look up what it means to be amazement. And then go back to 1 Peter and look, he says it right there. Don't get frustrated because a man read it to you. We trying to help y'all. You think a man want to live the rest of his life with a woman who don't know how to behave like a daughter of Sarah, but she be perpetrating a fraud like she the daughter of Sarah? Don't nobody want to live like that. And if we didn't say it, we would be fake. Look at this. Look at this. Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Adon. Yes, sir. Sir. Khan Adawan. Yes, Lord. Ain't nothing wrong with calling your husband Lord. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You show yourself to be more humble, righteous, spiritual, submissive. Look at this. Whose daughter you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Brother, you can't be thinking that everything gonna be okay and you got a problem with your rib. You gotta forgive, you gotta let go, let the Most High handle. All right. I think this is very helpful. I'm gonna yield the floor in this situation. All right, I need able to come. All right. Yeah, I noticed I'm not screen sharing. Stupefaction. You like that? Stupefaction. All right. I gotta have a unibrow. Yeah, you gotta have a unibrow, right? Yeah. I don't allow eyebrow shaving, and I don't allow shaving of legs in my household. There's also other body parts that I don't allow, including armpits. Why? Because I said so. And all praise the Most High, Rashwan don't have a unibrow, but if she did, she would be my unibrow having rib. All right. And I will put baby oil all across that hairy railroad track across her forehead because it'd be mine. All right. So I need Habla come, Kwame Asharala. All right. I got to get with some brethren. I believe we're supposed to be doing a video. That's right. All praise the Most High. That's right. Khan. All praise the Most High. All right. I got to get with some brethren. I pray that everybody have a barawak yawam. All right. Have a blessed day. Love your neighbor as yourself. Forgive each other. Help each other. If you come across an Israelite sister and you notice she operating in the spirit of stupefaction, help them. Don't rebuke them to the point to where you don't like them. Help them. All right. Be patient, because just as you've sinned, I've sinned. Yahweh's going to remember our sins. Okay. Yahweh's going to help us if we help others. All right. We love you. Yahweh Shemalathan, Shabbat Shalom. Don't forget this week's Torah portion. All right. This week's Torah portion, and salute to Rashwan for always making sure the Torah portion gets sold. Get shared and told. That's how I got sold. Shared and told. I mixed the two words together. All right. So this week's Torah portion is told and shared. All right. It's Exodus chapter 31 through chapter 38. That's the law portion. And it starts off about not kindling any fire on a Shabbat. Everybody bringing everything together. The book of prophets, the prophets portion is 2 Kings chapter 11, verse 7 through, chapter 11, verse 17. Chapter 11, verse 17 through chapter 12, verse 17. All right. And then we have the gospel portion of this week's Torah portion, which is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 1 through verse 13. So these are the three parts of this week's Torah portion. We have Exodus chapter 35 through 38. We have 2 Kings chapter 11, verse 17 through chapter 12, verse 17. And then we have the gospel portion, which is Matthew chapter 12, verse 1 through verse 13. Now, I'm going to make sure that not only I share this week's Torah portion on my Facebook, but I'm going to make sure that if you choose to, you're going to be able to study the Torah portion with us as a nation. Okay, we love you. Shabbat Shalom, Yahweh Shemalathan. If you're on the women's retreat, make sure you keep the Torah. Make sure you do not sin. Do everything you can to not sin, so Yahweh's favor can come with you. I know more than one woman that's on this woman's retreat. All right. I know a lot of Israelites. Just keep it like that. And I don't always say what I know. I don't always say what I know. This means come here. When I do this means come here. Nothing lava. Nothing lava. Water.
Papa, can you play when you get done?
Mm-hmm. When we get done, after we chill out for the Shabbat, then we will. All right. All right. So your Howard Shema done. Make sure you go through the Torah portion, and you will learn something. All right. And then bless your neighbor, help your neighbor, teach your neighbor. All right. I need to come. Yabrakum Yabashim Shai. Shalom. Kwam. Alam. Play one of my favorite Israelite songs before we end off. All right. You better believe it.
Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying ain't a crime, put the charge on me. Brother, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love is the lights on me. I speak the love if we fight or if you lied on me. I speak the truth and that the law is on the matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family.
No greater love for you than lay your life down for a friend. I know it's rough, but don't give up, just sing through to the end. Keep the law, verse 3 and 4 explains your sin. But through his blood we can repent, so don't do it again. Cause the world love is on, that's why they follow trends. To do the will of my Father makes you real again. So but my brother, trying to love him like no other. I'm just here to let you know you're not alone in the struggle. And though we suffer, if he need a mild hug and tell him wipe his tears, man, cause what don't kill you make you tougher. Put to the side all the fighting and the fussing, no discussing, and I turn the other cheek to show I love him. That make me better towards my brother, welcome. Best believe I ain't gon' talk about you, man, I help you. So what you going through, man, we can go together. Know it's stressful, but I'm here and I won't change like the weather.
Love your family.
Why people from Memphis don't know how to say ST words?
Like
Stressful.
Love your family.
I know it's stressful. Stressful.
Love your family.
They know how to, but y'all accent is just different. That man couldn't say stressful for the nothing. He was like, I know it's stressful. Man, I love it. I know it's stressful, cost the street, don't eat a scrimp.
Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying ain't a crime, put the charge on me. Brother, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love is the lights on me. I still love you if we fight or if you lied on me. I speak the truth and that's the law, that's all the matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family.
You ain't gotta push and shove to show you found some love, just like the dude from above. You can descend like the love, but there's some things you gotta rehearse before you leave this earth. Like put the Father first, and thou shalt not thirst. You gotta be tried and refined. That's the most high design. You never know your time, and that's line upon line. It's been the book of Zephaniah. Oh nation, I desire. Just ask the Messiah and thank the Most Higher. Oh, love your fam and bring upon him no harm. And with that being said, I love you all. Shalom.
Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying ain't a crime, put the charge on me. Brother, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love is the lights on me. I still love you if we fight or if you lied on me. I speak the truth and that's the Lord is over matrimony. I testify my love for you, and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Now what you mean you hate your brother? I'm like, damn, bro. Keep messing up and acting tough, you gon' be damn, bro. Right with the lamb, bro. We ain't talking Lambo. Can't help but speak the fire. Two out the handle. We charge partners in the scandal. 7 woman on with the toy like a candle. That's just to see the light, the good your sight is supposed to sound, though. Tear it down if they come against you, call me Vandal. Straight up dismantle. Take a chance and battle with your sister, bet the gamble. Oh, you know we battling with the scriptures just like Rambo. Walk on water just to make it till you left the paddle. This is love revelation, ain't no reservation. Fight the temptation, take your time when it comes to love, has a patient. Feet walking occupation, walking for your nation. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Sister, you ain't gotta cry, lean on me. Cause crying in the crowd, put the charge on me. Girlie, if you want it, you can bleed on me. Cause king, if you die, raise your kids on me. I show my love to is the lights on me. I still love you if we fight or if you lied on me. I speak the truth and that's the Lord is over matrimony. I testify my love for you and that's my testimony. Love your family, love your family, love your family. Love your family, love your family, love your family.
All right, so what I'm gonna do, Yashal, is I'm gonna take this link, I'm gonna copy it, and I'm gonna put it right where it's supposed to go, to where everybody that wants to find it, they can hear it. Okay. All right. So here's the link to that song. This is our Maccabee family. That's in Memphis. All right. The track is called "Love Your Family." Yo, you can't get around that. All right. I never come. Shalom. Kwame Ashala. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love Yahweh. Isaiah chapter 8 verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. They speak not according to his words because there are no light in them. Shalom. Kwame Ashala.